In the year when I was most short of money, I live-streamed myself doing wood carving in the dormitory to earn some pocket money. 2 local roommates thought I was annoying and moved back home. I was actually quite at ease living alone, until Liam, the student with the worst temper in school, transferred to our dormitory. After hearing the news, Lucas from the next door dormitory specifically told me he changed dormitories because he fought with his previous roommate. You'd better stay away from him. Knock on the wall if there's anything wrong. Got it. I took all his words to heart. Since childhood, because of my delicate appearance and my quiet nature, I've never had many friends. It wasn't until Lucas held my hand with a look of pity that I realized that liking men wasn't such a big deal after all. Liam looks cold when he doesn't speak. I was too scared to go live for the first 3 days after he moved in. Some of my few fans came to ask me, Momo, why haven't you been going live recently? My live streaming ID is Can't Touch the Head. Some fans just call me Momo, and I don't mind, because of the wood carving. I've accumulated a lot of wood and quite a few express delivery boxes in the dormitory. My roommates thought I had too many things and even threw my stuff away when I was out. I braved the rain and retrieved the usable things from the trash can. Liam looks so intimidating. What if he gets annoyed with me when I go live tomorrow? I tossed and turned in bed and finally gritted my teeth and knocked on Liam's bedboard. He pushed aside the curtain between us and looked up at me. I had heard before that he was very handsome, and there were more girls chasing him at school than there were people buying pancakes. After seeing him today, it seems that it's probably true. Not to have feelings for straight men is a rule that Lucas taught me. I pinched my thigh, trying hard to keep my voice from trembling. I'm going to do a live stream in the dormitory for 2 hours tomorrow, but I promise I'll be very quiet and it'll definitely end before 10. Is that okay? Liam licked his lips. It was hard to tell what expression he had. Do as you like. I won't come back to stay tomorrow. I let out a sigh of relief, hid under the quilt, and replied to my fans word by word. I'll go live tomorrow. The other side replied with a good night. I didn't reply because I fell asleep as soon as I put down my phone. And I even dreamed of Liam. The next day, when I went to the toilet blushing, I bumped into the man himself. He had just washed his face, and the ends of his hair were dripping wet, swaying on his collarbone. I blushed and felt guilty, and quickly averted my eyes. When I came out, he was already gone. When the live stream ended the next day, Liam still hadn't come back. I sent a message to Lucas. If I dreamt of a man, what does it mean? Lucas kicked open the dormitory door in his slippers. Mateo, have you finally come to your senses? Tell me, which wild man is it? As soon as he finished speaking, Liam appeared behind him. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt with the hood loosely on his head, making his jawline look even more sharp and cold. His eyes were slightly squinted. Wild man. I quickly covered Lucas's mouth and pulled him out. Previously, I was the only one living in the dormitory. Lucas was used to being careless. When he saw Liam appear, he was also startled and asked me fearfully, I forgot you're different from me. You're most afraid of people finding out. What should I do? Will Liam tell others? I patted him on the shoulder and comforted him. It's okay, don't worry. He doesn't seem like a meddlesome person. I blushed guiltily. It wasn't because I was afraid of Liam knowing that I liked men. I was afraid that Liam would know that the strange man I was longing for was him. Such a thing would be a bit off-putting for any straight man, right? I sent Lucas back to the dormitory. When I got back, Liam was already in bed, and the black curtain was drawn tightly. I lay in bed afraid to sleep, fearing that I would dream of him again. Just then, my phone vibrated. The fan L who replied to my good night message yesterday sent a private message. In a relationship, I sent a question mark, except for Lucas who only had a vague idea. I hadn't told anyone about this. The other side replied instantly, you hummed a song during today's live stream. Only when someone pointed it out did I realize that it seemed to be true. When I do live streams, the camera usually only faces the console, and at most, only my hands are shown. I talk very little, and I've never hummed a song before. Is it considered a relationship if I've fallen head over heels for a straight man and have an unrequited love with no result? I hesitated for a long time and typed a few words, keep it a secret. Okay, there was a dull thud sound from Liam's bed. I quickly sat up and directly lifted his curtain. Are you okay? Liam was bare-chested and facing away from me, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist. I tightly grasped the bed curtain and slowly closed it, only showing half of my face. How useless I am. It seems that I'm about to have a nosebleed. Liam frowned, looking faintly displeased. It's okay. You know that outsiders are not allowed in the dormitory, right? I belatedly realized that he understood what Lucas said and was making concessions to me. It means that it's okay for me to like men, but I can't bring anyone back. He's so nice. What should I do if I like him even more? Lucas is right. Sure enough, everyone will have their straight man crisis. In the following days, perhaps to supervise me, Liam returned to the dormitory very early. When I did the live broadcast in front of him, I was still a bit embarrassed at first. Later, I found that he just sat beside me playing games, so I gradually relaxed. Sometimes when I couldn't spare my hands, I even dared to ask him to hand me things. Some fans heard the voice and asked me in the bullet comments, "So considerate. Does the assistant little brother even ask if you want to drink water?" I was choked and coughed out. "Liam? My assistant?" Hearing the sound, Liam put down his phone and patted me on the back. "What's the rush?" The bullet comments started again, and I quickly turned off the sound. "I'm fine. I won't disturb you." Liam placed his hand on the back of my neck and said, "I'm not annoyed by you." There was a thin layer of calluses on his palm. When it pressed against the soft flesh on the back of my neck, there was a faint, stimulating pleasure. I quickly shrank my neck. If he kept rubbing like that, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to continue today's live broadcast. Since there was no sound in the live broadcast, the bullet comments became more and more unscrupulous. "What are you doing? Are you already getting intimate? Is there something we can't watch? Are you really treating us sisters like outsiders?" I quickly turned off the live broadcast. If Liam saw these, he would probably kick me out. I was restless. After the live broadcast ended, it took me more than an hour of polishing to finish a wooden carved kitten. I put it on Liam's table as an apology gift. The next day in class, Liam sat beside me for the first time. Although we had several open classes together outside the dormitory, we never greeted each other, let alone attended classes together. Liam opened his book without looking at me and said, "I received the kitten. Thank you." Lucas suddenly looked up and said, "What kitten? Why didn't I get one?" I quickly pressed his head down and said, "You're welcome. I've disturbed you a lot during my live broadcasts." Liam pulled his hat and twirled the pen between his fingers very fast, looking directly into my eyes. "I've said it. You're not disturbing me. He's really, really nice. I'm a posthumous child. My mother passed away not long after giving birth to me. I grew up with my grandfather and was often bullied. Being called a wild child and sissy and being beaten in the alley were just common occurrences for me. Except for Liam, no one has ever been this nice to me." My eyes welled up with tears, and I blurted out, "Then I'll make it for you again tomorrow." Liam didn't say yes or no, but that night, he moved a stool and sat next to me, doing it in a decent manner. Liam picked a scrap and patiently ground it bit by bit. He learned things quickly. I immediately became the group leader of the praise group and said, "You're so amazing." The bullet comments all floated by. "Husband is so amazing." What did I miss when I was away for a few days? I quickly cleared the bullet comments, afraid that Liam would see them, but Liam just stared at me, blinked, and leaned over. Then, "Mateo, where's my reward?" No kidding, I had another dream that night. The next day, I didn't even go to the big class. I chanted the incantation of purity of heart 3 times in the dormitory. When I nodded yesterday, I was completely dazed. I felt light, as if I had been thrown into a cotton ball. It wasn't until evening that my feet finally touched the ground. It was 9 o'clock, and Liam still hadn't come back. When a message popped up in the big group, I found out that their basketball team was having a dinner gathering today, and many people had gone. Liam was surrounded in the middle. His cheeks were flushed, as if he had drunk a lot of wine. He let a junior girl hug his arm. I was so distracted that all the chanting of the incantation of purity of heart that day was in vain. I threw down the carving knife. Just as I was about to end the live broadcast early, Liam staggered in and pushed the door open. The wispy hair on his forehead hung down slightly, and his eyes were wet, as if he had just been fished out of the water. I didn't even dare to make eye contact with him. Liam staggered and slumped into the chair. My heart was pounding rapidly and chaotically. I simply sat back down and, like a self-torturer, filed the rabbit's ears with a file. The live stream comments scrolled by quickly. "Oh my God, you've been so full of bravado all day. Now that the assistant is like this, if you don't step up, you're not a real Chinese. Hey, what if it's just pure friendship? It's not nice to say things like that." I kept working with my hands and corrected word by word. "He's not my assistant. He's my roommate. Please don't spread rumors." Liam was so drunk that he had almost lost his senses. I don't know which of my words triggered a keyword. Liam staggered to his feet and pulled me, chair and all, towards him. I disappeared from the camera in an instant and nervously defended myself. I'm still on the live stream. But a drunkard has no logic. Liam lost his strength and suddenly fell into my arms. mumbling repeatedly, "Where's the reward? Reward me." The phone not far away was still live streaming. I bit my lip hard. It really can't be done now. I haven't finished the live stream. Liam's warm breath from the alcohol hit my side neck. It sounded like he was acting coquettishly. Liam clamped my legs tightly, and I couldn't move at all. He put his hand on my belt and said, "You promised to reward me, right now." The phone clattered to the ground. Liam pressed himself on me, looking up at me innocently and repeating, "Reward me." I clutched the belt tightly, almost going crazy. Lucas only taught me to keep a distance from straight men, but he didn't say what to do if I was pounced on by a straight man. Really having no idea under his intense stare, I asked him, "How do you want me to reward you?" Liam rubbed circles on my lip bead and his fingers climbed up an inch further. "Don't you know? Is this right? Can this be right? Is Liam probably already drunk out of his mind? Then no matter what happens tonight, will he?" Alarm bells rang in my head and I shook my head vigorously. When I opened my eyes again, I found that Liam had fallen asleep on me. All of a sudden, I felt a sense of powerlessness. Just like when I was about to go along with something bad but then found the other person was an undercover cop. Being kind, I immediately canceled my evil plan to turn a straight man gay and dutifully helped him to the bed. It was already 1 o'clock in the morning when I finished all this. Liam turned over and wrapped himself around me like he was hugging a big doll. I struggled but couldn't move at all. "Forget it, just let it be. I'm really about to faint from exhaustion. I don't care about being straight or not, or about the 1100. I just don't care anymore." Finally, I fell asleep biting Liam's hair. I had no dreams all night. Until dawn, Lucas knocked on the dormitory door with his hands and feet. "Mateo, do you know you're on the hot search?" I suddenly opened my eyes in Liam's arms. "Oh no." I tumbled out of bed in a hurry. My legs went weak, and I even knelt down in front of Lucas on the spot. Lucas was wearing his pajamas, and his hair looked like it had been bombed. He directly thrust his phone in front of me. "Listen to it for yourself. There are only a few hundred people in my live stream room every day. It's unlikely to make it to the hot search, right?" I clicked on that black screen video with subtitles in a daze. The distorted voices of me and Liam went straight from my left ear to my right ear. "It really can't be done now. I haven't finished yet. Gurgle, gurgle. Then let me do it first. You promised to reward me yesterday." "No, right now." Lucas scratched his hair and stood with his hands on his hips, looking around for someone. "Come on. Where did you hide that other man?" I still haven't recovered from that recording. "Yesterday." Liam kept grabbing my wrist. When the phone was knocked to the ground, I thought the live broadcast had already ended. Lucas has always been worried that I would be deceived by others. Now that things have gotten so out of hand, he is even more worried that the other party had premeditated it. Just then, one of the parties slowly poked his head out. His voice was hoarse. "Is the recording real?" "Bad news. My identity has been exposed." "Good news. Only half of my identity has been exposed. Just mine." I made an appointment with Lucas to have dinner and talk in detail in the evening, and coaxed him away. When I turned around, Liam had put on a black sweatshirt and got out of bed. He rubbed his temples and dragged the progress bar to play the recording repeatedly. "You brought someone back to the dormitory yesterday?" Sure enough, he didn't remember what happened last night. I breathed a sigh of relief for him. If he knew that he hugged someone and asked for a kiss after getting drunk, he would feel very embarrassed. The video captured the sound of the chair being moved very clearly. Liam listened to it again like he was torturing himself. Then he kicked his chair and whispered a curse. "So after I got drunk yesterday, you were here. And you." Liam grabbed his hair desperately. "I've become a sleeping husband." I picked up the broken phone and looked at him, feeling a bit at a loss. That night, at the school food stall, Lucas jumped up from his seat with a chicken leg in his mouth. "What? Who are you talking about?" I quickly pulled him down to sit and leaned over, lowering my voice. "Keep your voice down. You promised to keep it a secret for me." Lucas put down the chicken leg and took a bite of the air. "Forget about asking me to keep it a secret. You didn't even tell Liam. What are you up to? Are you acting out autumn in my heart?" I quickly found the group photo of the basketball team in the group chat and sent it over. "He's straight." I thought it's better to make less of a fuss. It's a good thing if he got drunk and forgot about it. Who would have known that? Lucas sneered. "I have 800 female friends I can link arms with. Does that make me straight too?" Lucas squinted his eyes. "Leave this to me. I'm going to see if this Liam is really straight." Lucas had an appointment that night. When I got back to the dorm, I found that Liam wasn't there, but there was a brand new phone on the table. It cost several thousand yuan, almost as much as what my grandpa spends in a year. I took a photo and sent it to Liam. but accidentally showed the red mark on my wrist. Liam held me tightly last night, and the thin calluses on his tiger's mouth rubbed back and forth on my skin. I quickly recalled the message, but Liam sent a message. Just take it. Consider it as the accommodation fee for this period. I declined many times, but Liam didn't reply anymore. It wasn't until I finished taking a shower that I saw a link he forwarded to me half an hour ago. Beware. 8 small actions of potential domestic violence men. I rubbed his profile picture. He shouldn't be so sarcastic about himself like this. Because of the incident that made it onto the hot search, the fan group was extremely lively today. Some fans even started writing fan fiction about me and Liam. I clicked on it. Through the cracked phone screen, my face got redder and redder as I read. Can't take it already? Stop shaking. You carved this with your own hands. Don't want this? Then pick one yourself. No regrets after you've chosen. I bit the quilt, and I could even feel a slight warmth in my lower abdomen. Just when I was enjoying reading, the administrator L deleted all the fanfictions in the group and added surf the internet greenly and be civilized to each other in front of the group name. It's simply turning the world upside down. I clicked on the avatar of L. I also think they are so excessive. So can you send me a copy of the fanfiction? L replied instantly with an off-site link. Shocking. The harm of excessive indulgence is actually so great. After reading this, do you still dare to find a boyfriend? Fine. You're not going to give it, right? You've really picked the wrong fight with me. I bit the quilt and fell asleep and dreamt of Liam again. The difference is that the picture turned into a movie. Before dawn, I rushed into the toilet. When I came back and saw the empty dormitory, I really realized that Liam wouldn't come back. My mood hit rock bottom. I tiptoed and took out Liam's pillow from his bed and hugged it in my arms. He groped me all night and then left. It's not too much for me to use his pillow, right? After I got a bit angry, I finally had a good sleep hugging the pillow. This time, without Liam, I dreamt of the time when I made wood carvings with my grandfather. My grandfather didn't have much talent. He made furniture for others everywhere and raised my father until he got married. But who would have known that the year my mother was pregnant with me, there was a flood in the village. After my father volunteered to fight the flood, he never came back. It wasn't until I was 5 years old that, during a heavy rain at home, a lacquered amulet washed down from the mountain, and my father's remains were finally found. The day the village head brought back a hand bone, Grandpa spent the whole day carving talismans in the yard. It was also from that day that I officially started learning wood carving. The first thing I carved was also a talisman. Grandpa never went to school. He didn't think talismans were useless. He only regretted that he hadn't carved enough talismans to protect his son. Grandpa's personality also seemed to have softened since then. In the past, when I was bullied, he would take me to seek justice. But since then, he gradually stopped standing up for me. I wet my pillow with tears in my dream and woke up starving. I got up and simply bought a lunch. Just as I returned to the dormitory building, Lucas suddenly called me like a madman. Mateo, no matter where you are, don't go back to the dormitory first. The thing about you being on the hot search was almost over, but your 2 roommates leaked the name of our school. Now they've probably gone back to the dormitory to cause trouble for you. As soon as Lucas finished speaking, the door was opened from the inside. All the things on the table were in a mess, and the carving knife had disappeared. The bed was also splashed with acrylic paint in a mess. Looking just like a murder scene, William folded his arms across his chest, his face contorted with anger, looking like a cheap-colored balloon, making Daniel beside him look like a goblin in the form of a bamboo pole. See, I told you it was him. William stepped forward and grabbed my collar with one hand. Do you think the school will expel you when they find out about this? As he said that, he raised his fist and aimed it straight at my face. For a moment, I felt like I was back in my childhood, being beaten in an alley. I closed my eyes tightly, but the expected pain didn't come. I opened my eyes and saw Liam holding his fist tightly, his face looking extremely cold and scary. How about guessing first whether you can walk out of here alive today? I heard that among Liam's former roommates who were beaten, one of them is a friend of William's. William should know best what Liam is like when he beats someone. The scene was in a complete mess, so I quickly grabbed Liam and ran outside. His hand was injured, and the joints were all scarlet. You have to deal with this right away. Did you touch a rusty bedboard? Do you need a tetanus shot? Do you have your medical insurance card with you? I held his hand loosely, extremely anxious. When I looked up, Liam was staring at me intently, covering the back of my hand with his big hand. Mateo, there is medicine at my home. Don't tremble. Only then did I realize my gaffe. It seemed that I had gone a bit too far. Why did I hold his hand? Another little voice in my head immediately retorted, "What's wrong with good friends holding hands?" I stepped on Liam's shadow. After a mental struggle, my legs had already honestly stepped into his house. "What are you in a daze for? Aren't you going to help me apply the medicine?" I took the first aid kit from his hand and wiped it bit by bit. I've been injured a lot when making wood carvings. There are still deep and shallow scars on my hands now. Handling wounds is not a difficult thing for me. "Mateo," after I tied up the gauze, Liam suddenly called my name. This is the second time. He has called my name for the second time today. When I looked up, I just realized that we had been so close all the time. Our breaths mingled. From afar, we looked like two swans with their necks intertwined. My heart is pounding so fast. I wonder if Liam feels the same way. But Liam asked, "Why didn't you dodge when William attacked?" I swallowed hard. How could I explain this? I can't fight back anyway. Instead of resisting, it's better to take the beating obediently. When they find it boring, they'll naturally leave. Do you think I'm quite useless? Anyway, there have been plenty of people scolding me like this since I was a child. But when I showed this side in front of Liam, I still felt my cheeks burning. How could a person be so embarrassing? After waiting for a long time without a reply, I tugged at the corner of my clothes and was about to go back. But he suddenly grabbed my wrist. "Did your boyfriend say that?" I was stunned for a moment before I realized that Liam was talking about the person who was on the hot search with me. Without waiting for me to answer, Liam pulled me to sit down and said, "You're not useless. It does take courage to resist. But you think that if you endure it, things will get better later, right? Don't they treat you like this just because they think you'll endure it?" "Mateo, you're really stupid." I looked at Liam and couldn't come to my senses for a long time. Grandpa always tells me to endure and give in. Only Liam would say, "Mateo, why don't you resist? You're really stupid." I couldn't stay in the dormitory, so I shamelessly stayed with Liam. I curled up on the sofa and fell asleep without dreams. When I woke up, I found myself lying in Liam's arms. He wasn't fully awake yet. A ray of sunlight squeezed through the gap in the curtain and landed on my eyelashes. I slept with his pillow yesterday, and today I slept directly in his arms. "Mateo, oh Mateo, you're really becoming more and more outrageous." I got up on tiptoe, but my hand slipped, and my whole face buried in his neck. Liam always has a refreshing mint smell on him. I subconsciously sniffed. When I looked up, Liam was opening his eyes and looking at me. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. It's okay to get into someone's bed, but also smell them like a pervert. I touched my nose and said, "Sorry, I don't know how I could sleepwalk. I've never had this before." Liam didn't seem to care. He raised his hand and said lazily, "Can you help me change my clothes?" I almost closed my eyes to help him change. During that time, Liam also asked me, "Does your boyfriend know that you stayed at my place yesterday?" He kept saying boyfriend here and there. I felt like I was about to run out of excuses. I straightened his clothes and stammered, "We broke up. Don't mention him anymore." Liam was stunned when he heard that. I quickly rushed into the bathroom. I ran so fast that I didn't even notice the look behind me. When I returned to school, the dormitory was still in a mess. Liam was leaning against the opposite side, looking at me. "Do you still plan to live here?" Wooden carvings were scattered all over the floor, and paint had been splashed on the beds. I sighed, and Liam continued, "It's actually okay to have one more person at my place." I turned my head to look at him. Liam bent down to put the half-carved wooden sculpture into the express delivery box. "There's still room for another bed in the bedroom, and we can put an operating table in the living room. You can do your live streaming until whenever you want." Maybe Liam doesn't even know how tempting his words are. "There's no need to worry about the roommate coming back and causing trouble. You can put as many things as you want, and no one will say anything even if you do the live streaming until the early morning." I lay on the railing and looked at him. "Then what about the rent?" "I don't like eating in the cafeteria. If you can cook for me, the rent will be free." I almost jumped out of the bed and quickly packed my luggage. "Don't worry. I started cooking when I was shorter than the stove. I'm really good at it." Liam put a chubby flying kitten into the box without saying a word. I didn't have many things. Liam helped me move them once, and that was almost it. All kinds of tools for carving wooden sculptures were placed on the operating table in the living room. There was a tall white magnolia tree right in front of the window. The only drawback was that the bed hadn't been bought yet. When I was looking at folding beds online, Liam snatched my phone away. "Mateo, I'm hungry." I had a sudden inspiration and immediately ran to the kitchen to stir-fry 3 dishes. Liam bought 2 bottles of wine that night, saying that he wanted to celebrate my moving. I vaguely remembered what Liam looked like after getting drunk last time and hesitated to start. "What? Don't you like drinking?" "It's not that I can't drink. My grandfather and I both have a good capacity for alcohol and we hardly ever get drunk. But it's a different story for Liam. Seeing that I didn't say a word, Liam pushed the wine aside. My cousin also doesn't like drinking. At the basketball team's dinner last time, she just drank coconut juice. It seems there's also some at home. I'll go and get it. Basketball team's dinner? Cousin? I caught the keyword and grabbed Liam's hand to confirm. Is it the girl standing next to you in the group photo? Liam was stunned. How do you know? I picked up the wine glass and downed it in one gulp. Appearing calm on the surface, I secretly started to fidget under the table. Just a guess. Liam didn't suspect anything and also had a glass. As a result, he got dizzy after just 3 glasses and staggered off to the bathroom. Afraid that something might happen to him, I squatted at the door waiting for him. There was a loud bang from the bathroom. Could he have fallen? I clenched my phone and tentatively knocked on the bathroom door. There was a regular sound of water in the room, but Liam didn't make a single sound. Gritting my teeth, just as I was about to rush in, Lucas sent a flurry of messages. What a straight-laced guy. Do you know why Liam fought with his former roommate? He was in the dorm, doing something inappropriate while watching your live stream, and was discovered by his roommate. He fought 3 of them alone and knocked them all down. He also gave each of them 50,000 as hush money. I finally got the guy drunk and managed to get the truth out of him. By the way, aren't you with Liam? With a quick glance out of the corner of my eye, I tightly clutched my phone. How could this be possible? Just then, the bathroom door was cracked open, and Liam suddenly pulled me into his arms without warning. The bathroom was filled with steam, and I felt like I was about to suffocate. Liam's clothes were soaked, and the corners of his eyes were red. It seemed that he had sobered up. Was it me who insisted on kissing you that day during the live stream? This time, it was my turn to be stunned. I've only heard before that when a person repeatedly enters a certain situation, they can retrieve lost memories. But I didn't expect it to also apply to someone who had a blackout from drinking. Did Liam remember? I grabbed the bathroom door, but Liam didn't give me a chance to escape and continued to press me. Right, Mateo? My throat tightened a bit. I opened my mouth, but couldn't make a sound. Suddenly, Liam leaned down and kissed me. Without the restraint from that day, the sober Liam was instead eagerly demanding. I raised my head, but was then pressed into Liam's arms. The damp moisture on his body rubbed off on me, getting me all wet. It wasn't until I was so dizzy from the kiss that I couldn't stand steadily that he took the towel from my palm and slowly wiped me. Where got wet? Here or here? The 2 little people in my mind were clashing with swords, and finally a winner was decided. I felt like my soul had left my body. I didn't even know how I fell asleep in the end. The next morning, I woke up first. I got up, stuffed 2 eggs into Liam's school bag, and ran away. Liam called me twice, but I didn't answer. No, this isn't right. Just as I was about to go find Lucas, William beat me to it and blocked me in the classroom. What? Isn't Liam following you today? My hands were shaking, but I still looked up at him and said, I've already collected evidence and reported the last incident to the police. If you still want to cause trouble, we can settle all the scores together. People were coming and going in the classroom, but William didn't lower his voice. Come on, everyone, take a look. This is our big anchor who made it onto the hot search. Bah, isn't it disgusting to be with a man? The final exam week was already annoying. When everyone heard this, they all stopped in their tracks. Seeing this, William grabbed the back of my collar and got more and more excited as he spoke. This guy, he broadcasts live in the dorm every day. I don't know if he's gotten together with his #1 fan. My breathing became faster and faster. All the past events flashed through my mind like a carousel, and the surrounding sounds also became sharp and hazy. Just then, someone suddenly punched William in the face, breaking all the illusions. When William looked at me in disbelief, I realized that it was me who had thrown the punch. No matter how weak I was physically, I grew up dealing with wood. William got a nosebleed from my punch. A strange sense of excitement welled up in my heart. Liam was right. Being patient only makes others think I'm easy to bully. Just as I was about to raise my hand again, Liam suddenly appeared and grabbed my waist. Mateo, look at me. Calm down. It's okay. Look at me. The moment I saw Liam, I felt as if all my strength had been drained away. The voices in my ears also became clear. William deserves it. Just because he's a local, he thinks he's so great. He looks down on outsiders and free tuition normal students. What did we do to him? He deserves it. Have you seen the video he mentioned? The one where the wood carving was interrupted by the roommate for a kiss. I saw someone saying it was from our school a couple of days ago. I thought it was a rumor and argued with people for ages. What a mess. William lies on the ground, covering his nose and saying, "I'm going to call the police." Liam presses on my shoulder, looks back and scans the crowd. Everyone immediately looks up at the sky and scatters. My phone is broken. Why didn't I capture anything? Hey, weren't we going to have a meal just now? Look at my memory. I can't even remember what I'm going to take an exam on tomorrow. What can I say when the police come? William, you're such an adult. How could you bump into the wall? I used to think that everyone disliked me. I've long been used to living quietly in a corner by myself, but I didn't expect that people I've only met a few times would be willing to stand by my side. Liam pulls me up and then punches William in the stomach. If you want to call the police, come to your grandpa. I'll accompany you at any time. I'm pulled back home by Liam all the way. He kneels on the ground and carefully applies a layer of swelling, reducing ointment on me. Do you have anything to say? I bite my lip and turn my head away, saying, it's wrong to hit someone, but if it happens again, I'll still teach him a lesson. Liam raises his hand and touches my head, saying, you did very well, Mateo. I'm serious. I turn my head and look at him. But next time, I hope you can protect yourself better. There was a utility knife 2 steps away from him, and there was a camera right in front of the classroom corridor door. If he kept pestering you, could you break free? I never thought about what he said at all. He considered everything that I didn't think of for me. It's good that you're okay. I'm still here for you. I didn't cry when I was forced to come out of the closet in front of so many people. I didn't cry when I was wrestling with William, who was much stronger than me. But when Liam said that I still had him, my nose suddenly felt sore. When I was about to burrow into Liam's arms, he suddenly dodged to the side. Is there still one thing that we haven't made clear? I lunged forward and missed, looking at him blankly. Did you avoid me today because you don't want to be with me at all? It was like being splashed with a basin of cold water in the face. I looked up in surprise. I didn't. Liam still knelt on the ground but forcefully grabbed my hand. Then swear that you love me. By now, all my feelings were out in the open. I yanked my hand out forcefully but spoke in a very low voice. I do like you, but Liam, I have no money. Actually, I've thought about these words countless times in my head. I do like Liam. I like his free-spirited and fearless nature. He always stands behind me, supports me, and guides me to become brave step by step. But I have nothing. The hush money he casually gives to someone is 50,000 yuan. I would have to carve a whole box, or even 10 boxes, of little cats to earn that much. I've lost all my face today. I simply blurted it out all at once. I make a living by selling wood carvings on live streaming. I only earn about 200-300 yuan a month. After spending 800 yuan on living expenses and setting aside some money to buy wood, the rest has to be sent to my grandpa. If you fall in love with me, I can't give you anything. Liam was silent for a long time. Suddenly, he straightened up and buried his head in my arms. Mateo, are you going to carve little cats to support me? I didn't feel anything when I said it myself. But why did it sound so embarrassingly strange when Liam said it? I mean exactly that. Don't you understand? Stop liking me. Liam rested his head on my shoulder, and his breath tickled my side neck. I won't. You like me, but you won't let me like you. There's no such logic. Be fair. Is this fair to me? I was so dizzy from the kiss that my thoughts were led astray by him. Is this fair? I don't know. All I knew was that night, I desperately wanted to hold on to him in the floating night. When the moon rose above the treetops, I was just glad that Liam had never seen those fan fictions. Otherwise, I'd really be done for. My butt hurt so badly that I went home early the next day. It was only when I pushed the door open that I remembered there was still a custom order unfinished. I haven't done a live stream for a long time since the time I made it onto the hot search list. As soon as I entered the live streaming room, I myself almost got disconnected due to the lag. Momo, you're finally back. I thought you were too busy falling in love and had forgotten about us. Hey. Momo was so dazed after that kiss but still didn't put down his work. He's extremely career-oriented. Okay. I held a carving knife in my hand and chatted with everyone casually. Recently placed an order for a wave wood carving, a style from a long time ago. I was concentrating on the gradually taking shape wave in my hand and didn't even notice Liam coming home. He still carried the coolness of the night on him and nestled into my arms to keep warm. I got a shock and pressed the knife too hard. I quickly motioned for him to let go. Unexpectedly, instead of backing off, he took out an anti-cut finger cot from his bag and beckoned to me. I glanced at the screen and stretched out my hand as fast as I could. My tools were actually very simple. A piece of scrap wood and a multi-purpose knife were enough. Now it's full of all kinds of tools that Liam bought for me, big and small. I put on the finger cot and went back under the camera. Sure enough, it was noticed. Who is this little wood-carving genius? Didn't he used to be so stubborn that he wouldn't wear anti-cut gloves even if his hand was cut and he felt uncomfortable? You don't understand. Is it the same when you're in love? If you don't care about yourself, others will. Since I was on the hot search, the bullet comments have become more and more unrestrained, and Liam was still watching beside me. My face burned red. After making the last cut, I quickly turned off the live stream. What's wrong? Is the size not right? I specially had it custom made. Liam, the one who started all this, looked at me innocently. He clearly knew that I couldn't be angry with his face. I lowered my head and continued carving. It's very comfortable. It's just that I accidentally carved too deep here. I'm afraid I have to make it again. Liam glanced at it. The waves are naturally uneven. No one will care. Although he said so, I still felt bad about it. When Liam went to take a shower, I opened the chat interface with L. There was an accident with the order. Can it be shipped 2 days later? L didn't reply. I scrolled up and found that our last chat was when I asked him for fan fiction. I saw that your last shipping address is in the same school as mine. How about I deliver it directly to your dormitory after I remake it? I don't know if it was the words shipping address that triggered the system keyword. An automatic reply popped up directly in the dialog box. The name and phone number seemed to be fake, and the address is no. 368 Yuan Lin Road. Wait, number 368 Yuan Lin Road? I took a sliding step and pushed open the door. The cold wind in the corridor gave me a shiver. Why would it be here? I was very confused and was filing the wood bit by bit with a carving knife. Speaking of which, he was one of my earliest fans. He was there when I first started live streaming in the 3rd year of junior high school. There were only 3 people in the live streaming room at that time. When I saw someone come in, I greeted him by his ID, but it scared him away instead. However, I didn't care at that time and lowered my head to carve a C on the basswood board. As the carving knife rose and fell, the waves of the sea gradually took shape. There was a layer of light white paint under the aqua blue paint. From afar, it was almost indistinguishable from the real thing. After carving for a whole day, I stretched and only then noticed that the live broadcast was still on. L came back and stayed in my live broadcast room for a whole day. I thought this guy was really interesting and sent him a winning link. He didn't reply. I said the prize was the wave wood carving I just made. He directly sent over his shipping address. In exchange, he became the administrator of my first fan group. It's just that he seems to be very busy and only became a bit more active recently. He bought my wood carvings, paid attention to my relationship status, confiscated the fan fictions in the fan group, and even issued an anti-spread notice as soon as my school name was exposed. Did all these things really be done by Liam? I was distracted for a moment, and the carving knife didn't stop in time. My finger was immediately bleeding. Why are you wearing a finger guard? Don't move. I'll go get the first aid kit. I lost all feeling of the pain in my hand and grabbed the corner of Liam's clothes. Don't go. I have something to ask you. I've never asked Liam before why he did bad things during my live broadcast and why he likes me. I'm afraid of hearing an answer I don't want to hear. Lucas said that the circle is very chaotic and not as simple as I thought. Some people are just for the momentary novelty, and some just like to pursue excitement. Love doesn't last long. It's just a temporary anesthetic. When he heard that I was living with Liam, he just told me to take good care of myself. I watched Liam kneel on the ground to bandage me. I nudged his leg with my knee and said, "You haven't answered yet. Why do you like me?" Liam lowered his head and said, "I saw the message you sent me, Momo." I clasped my hands and quietly looked at him. Do you know why everyone calls you Momo? You may not even have noticed that every time you finish carving something, you'll stroke their heads, as if those things are really accompanying you. I hadn't noticed any of the things he mentioned, but in Liam's words, those past events seemed to be covered with a warm yellow filter. During the time when my parents got divorced, I watched your live stream almost every day. You just held a carving knife and slowly ground it. The first time you accidentally showed your face, there was a wall of amulets behind you. When the wind blew through them, they would make a clattering sound. Mateo, I've never seen such a look in someone's eyes before. It's clear, determined, and yet gentle. I have a bit of an impression of the incident he mentioned. That time, I was carving amulets with my grandfather. I didn't adjust my phone properly. When I finished carving one, I realized the camera was pointing at me. However, there weren't many fans at that time, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I just didn't expect that Liam saw it all at that time. I slid down and almost knelt in his arms. I never thought that those times that no one ever cared about were actually being carefully treasured by someone. Liam slowly pushed aside my bangs and lowered his head to kiss my forehead. Mateo, you never seem to know how precious you are. When Liam sent me to the railway station, he kept dawdling and didn't want to leave. I had a bun in my mouth and pulled him outside. You were full of vulgar words and kept me up until midnight yesterday, but now you're silent. I took a sip of water from Liam's hand and said, I have to go home to celebrate the spring festival with my grandpa. Don't be unhappy. I used to think Liam was a cold-looking guy, but unexpectedly, he's even more clingy than the neighbor's cat. Liam didn't say a word. He just gave me a hug when seeing me into the station. The order soared during the spring festival. At home, I either cooked, did live streaming, or called Liam. His parents came back from abroad to celebrate the spring festival with him, but he didn't seem very happy. On New Year's Eve, just as I finished making dumplings, he called. His voice still sounded glum. I found a corner and boasted to him, Liam, I've prepared a New Year gift for you. Am I amazing? Liam seemed to have found a quiet place. His voice was lazy. The express delivery has stopped. How can you give it to me? Mateo? Are you just making empty promises? I knew he would say that. I put my hands on my hips and directed him. Is the bag where you usually put your shirts with you? There were footsteps on the other end of the phone. I continued. Open the navy blue shirt you like the most and take a look. Before leaving school, I secretly carved a talisman for him. I chose black walnut wood. I had drawn the talisman characters many times. I carved it very carefully for the first time. I carved so many talismans for my deceased father whom I'd never met. For the first time, I was going to carve one for my lover. There was no sound from the other end of the phone for a long time. I got a bit impatient. What's wrong? Didn't you take the bag home? Or you just can't find it? Then I'll make it up to you after school starts. Liam suddenly interrupted me and said, Mateo, I miss you. I don't know if it was because the wind outside was too strong, but my nose suddenly turned red. Grandpa saw that I didn't go in for a long time, lifted the curtain and asked me, Are you in a relationship? Why don't you bring your partner home for the New Year's Eve dinner? Grandpa has never had any demands on me, but would he still be so tolerant if he knew I was dating a boyfriend? Before he turned around and went back into the house, I spoke up, Grandpa, if it's a boy, can I still bring him back for dinner? Grandpa stopped in his tracks and didn't turn back for a long time. What's wrong? Do boys not eat? Boys have to eat too. My nose seemed to ache even more. When I squatted on the ground, I realized that Liam hadn't hung up the phone. He suddenly spoke up and asked me, Can you see the clock tower from your side? I turned around and looked behind me, nodded, but the direction of the clock tower was always pitch black. The hands pointed to 12 o'clock. Firecrackers went off one after another. I was just about to wish Liam a happy new year. Suddenly, fireworks rose from the direction of the clock tower. The sound of the fireworks came from the receiver. Liam pressed the phone to his ear. Mateo, Happy New Year. Looking at the fireworks all over the sky, I murmured, Liam, Happy New Year. Extra story, Liam's perspective. When my parents divorced, the alimony they offered was higher than the other, but neither of them wanted me. They argued while I wore my headphones and huddled on the sofa, swiping and came across a live stream room with only one person. As soon as I entered, the anchor spoke up and called my ID. Welcome, L. Pat on the head. It scared me so much that I quickly swiped away. Why say Momo to me? A guy? So disgusting. Even my mom has never coaxed me like this. I moved my fingers and swiped back to the live stream room. This time he didn't say a word. The camera was pointed at a wooden board. The veins on the back of his hand stood out as he pressed down hard with the carving knife. Seemingly making random cuts, he carved a wave in no time. Before I knew it, I had watched his live stream for a whole day. When Can't Touch the Head ended the live stream, he sent a clearly fake winning link. But he said he would give me the wave wood carving he just made. I immediately sent the money and my address. He didn't accept the money and kind of hinted that I should be the administrator. Please, it won't be very busy. I can give you whatever you want. I don't want something for nothing. Anyway, he doesn't have many fans. From then on, I would turn on his live stream when I was free, using it as white noise. As time passed, I got to know some of his little habits. Every time he finished carving something, he would stroke its head and mutter something. That's why I call him Momo. He thought it was because there was a stroke character in his name. How stupid he is. He is both stupid and cute. He didn't even realize the camera wasn't turned away. I stopped writing and stared at the camera for a long time. I also want to be with him. Momo, I cleared out a study room to specifically store the wood carvings he gave me, until one day, I found that the shipping address was in our school. That night, I applied for on-campus accommodation. Not many people do live streaming in the dormitory, so I should be able to find out soon. But I didn't expect things to go so smoothly. While I was doing something bad, I heard the guy next door spit after hanging up the phone. "Hey, do you guys know that sissy who does live streaming in William's dorm?" Yeah, the one with a very slender waist. And his name is Mateo. I think he's the gayest guy in the whole school. He uses a piece of old wood as a cover, and no one knows how many top donors he's slept with behind the scenes. It's really bad luck to be in the same school as such a person. By the way, new guy, have you heard of him? I raised my hand and punched him. When the others came to break up the fight, I punched each of them too. In the end, I gave each of them 50,000 yuan as hush money. Consider it as the reward for them helping me find my wife. I have a poor tolerance for alcohol. I'll black out after just 2 drinks. But on the day Mateo moved in, I still carried 2 bottles of wine. When I got really drunk, I ran to the bathroom and vomited my guts out. Suddenly, a strange picture flashed through my mind. Me? Did I insist on pestering him for a kiss? What I said was even exactly the same as what was on the hot search. I sobered up in an instant and pulled Mateo into the bathroom to confirm. It was soft. I must have kissed him before. It turns out that what was written in those yaoi fanfictions was also about me. The next day, I was lenient. I sent all the previously reported yaoi fanfictions to the group. When Mateo logged on and gave a like, I knew he must like them. Mateo bought a train ticket to go home tomorrow. He doesn't want me anymore. I strongly asked for a hug before he left. He told me to have a good spring festival. On Chinese New Year's Eve, he even called me right on time to wish me a happy new year. He stuffed a big red envelope with 1,000 yuan in my favorite shirt. That's his 1-month living expenses. There is also a gold-rimmed amulet in the bulging bag. When their parents divorced, neither of them wanted me. Only Mateo would wish me peace and good health. The staff of the drum tower called to confirm the time for setting off fireworks. Mateo used to say that when looking out from home, there were only mountains, and the only thing he could see was the light from the drum tower. Then setting off a firework display for him at the drum tower. He should be able to see it, right? I hope the fireworks can bring my blessings to him. Happy New Year, Mateo.